listeners, Harika here, and I'm super excited to welcome you to UppTalk. If you're ready to learn and get your hands work wonders in the world of information technology, then you're in the right place. When I say UppTalk, we are not just another edtech company. Consider we are your learning partner committed to unlocking your full potential. Whether you're stepping into the world of technology for the first time or looking to advance your career, we provide top-tier, hands-on courses to build up your career. Let's take our first step towards learning here and explore it.
Upstream is completely completed. Now we are starting with the downstream side. Let's go back. Now when we talk about downstream first, let me give you the brief here. What we're going to do in the downstream side. We are going to run a complete cycle of the Procure-to-Pay process. The Procure-to-Pay process will make P2P, in short form we call it P2P, where you will be creating a requisition, or we call it Purchase Requisition PR in the Ariba system. We'll approve it and we get it up. Purchase order out of it. Then that purchase order, once the supplier delivers the material which is mentioned in this PO after a week or a month as per that requirement, then we need to perform the GR like the supplier has delivered those materials. After the delivery has been done by the supplier, then we need to post the invoice. Like the supplier will be giving, either posting the invoice online and against the PO for which he has supplied the material, or he can give us a hard copy, or he can email the copy and ask that please post the invoice on my behalf. After this you have this invoice will be coming in your system. Then you have this invoice reconciliation engine with checks. Basically it's a two-way match, three-way match. If you heard of this term in the supply chain, this is a very normal term, like you do two-way match or three-way match. Two-way match is you are comparing the invoice that coming from the supplier and the purchase order which is there in the which you have issued to the supplier. Then it comes a three-way match which also includes the GR. Invoice will be matched with the GR, how much quantity done, then the PO also how much quantity is there. Three-way match, that is, three things are coming in the picture. That's a three-way match. If you're using two-way, two documents for reference, that is two-way match. This will be done in this one. And once this has been cleared, that invoice reconciliation, after the duration it will be to pay. Like, as per the due date, the supplier will receive the payment on this purchase. This is basically the process of, you can say, this one for a complete procure-to-pay cycle. Sometimes you will see this company just buy this PR to PO. They do not go for this GR invoice and all those things. Or sometimes company have issues with their invoice. This one. Invoices, invoice management. Then in that case, what they do? They just go for the invoice management. And this invoice you can say, that comes in here. Based on the requirement. Based on this, we can say the necessity of the company is where is the pain area of the company, and all based on that, the company buy the solution. Now let's see the same thing here in the Ariba system. Now create, here is the requisition. We call it a requisition. You need to create like, this is a very basic, like end users will be doing it mostly. They will ask that please create a PR, please create a requisition and all. It's the same thing. Purchase requisition or requisition, both are the same meaning. Generally like this thing is coming because it's on the demo system. Otherwise it will directly take you to create the requisition, like directly you will be coming on the page, which is like how to come. This is the page. Here, when you create a purchase requisition, you have the option to choose whether you want to create a catalog related item, purchase requisition, or a non-catalog. Here you can see add non-catalog item. Another symbol for this one is this one. This is also same symbol for non-catalog item. Either you can see use this or use this. This is for creation of the non-catalog item. And here you have, these are all the catalog items. Remember one more thing. If you are adding two line items in your P, one is a catalog, another is a non-catalog. In that case, the PR, once it is get approved, will generate two separate PUs. One for the catalog, one for the non-catalog item. PUs will be separated based on catalog, based on the catalog and non-catalog. Right. In this Ariba language, it is called as is the item ad hoc. Ad hoc means it's a non-catalog item. If you say it's ad hoc item, like that's a non-catalog item, that is a condition. It is defined in a background. In a like, you can see the architecture of the system. I'll show you that one. For example, I'm going to select this first, this one. Adding a catalog item here. Maybe I'll just add 5 quantity of it and add to cart. And then I'm going to add a non-catalog item. And this non-catalog, it could be services or text item. You can write it. This is all up to you. Here, you can put like anything in here. Test item. So, item. You can select any commodity code or something like high-end computer servers. Then item, category, material account type, classification, code, quantity, and price. Same way. I think you remember like we have done it for in the contract also. And here it was it giving item number something, or it was just a description and other things. No, item number will automatically get selected. Select. Internally generated. Yes, it will be generated internally. Once you create it. Best when Germany is not there. Add to cart. A commodity code. All commodities. Now you can see this. Proceed to check it. Let me edit this one. There are two things like you can see this. Now this is a PR creator. System generated a PR number here. You need to give the title here. R like test P, our name. You have this purchasing or coming in here by default. This is the master data actually. I'll show you this. How this is coming in here on behalf of. It can happen that in the Ariba system, like your company is keeping a centralized team who will be creating the requisition for all the users in the Ariba. For in the all the users which are there in the what you can say like validation from on behalf of. There's a team basically who will be saying like you need to create the POs or P are based on them. On behalf of is like some user is asking you and you are a person sitting in somewhere in the centralized team and then you need to work on it. He may not be authorized or like something like that. You can say that. You can. Centralized team is there. You can select the name on behalf of your rating. On behalf of is the person who's that requested it. Just actual request, right? This is how you will be selecting it. Then there's a feature like this is team requisition or is team receipt. This is nothing, but it's like a group. If this team, basically you define a team on a user profile level, you can define a team. Team is like you are having department 4 or 5 people, like a small department of 4 or 5 people, and there's a one team of it. If one person is not available and you have selected this checkbox, like this team, in that case, you can also work. If the person is on leave, then you can also work on his behalf, or you can also work on this PR as he's on the. But this is just to indicate a team. It's a team that on behalf of user which you have selected. It's not necessary that that user should be belonging to a team, or it can be an usual user. No, user is different. This team is centralized. For example, like you and me are the centralized team. And I have selected is team requisition, like this way. In this case, what will happen is today. For example, unfortunately, I'm on leave and you are there in the office and there's some changes need on this P. Or as I selected is team requisition. You can also do the editing and change everything on this P. Or you do not get to wait to me. This is not an end user perspective, but just managing the P, our point of view. This is managing. Same is for the is team receive. Within your team. If you are doing this PR within your team, there are 5 users they can do. Right. Point. Right. This is how you can do this. Then there's another option is here. That is delay purchase until. This feature is like about if you want to delay our purchase. If you click on this, you can see this. Just give a read of it quickly. Date when the orders associated with this or an external system delay purchase. Unit delay purchase until date when the order is associated with these requisition are sent to the supplier or an actual receipt of that orders means now in the system. It will create it, but it will not send it to the supplier until this date. Basically, what happens is like you want to send the order on a particular date, like today's first, you want to send this on 5th and you are going only for tomorrow. You want that the supplier should receive this purchase order on your 5th. In this case, what will happen is you will set that delay purchase until 5th of June. The system, every approval and everything will be done, but the PO number will not get generated. It is just maybe for a otherwise supplier might get the order and he might already deliver it. If he has a stock, something like that. It's an option. Like it's not mandatory. As I said, like this team, requisition team, receive, delay purchase. These things are not mandatory, but there are options are given based on your requirement, based on your necessity. You can use them. Got it. Then this plan 3000, company code 3000, these things are master data. These things are by default coming in from the system that I'm going to show you. Basically, that is in the CIG, the integration component. Now this is in the like. There's a file data import export there. We'll see that. This way, you maintain it and by default, whatever the things you are able to see in here, right? These are coming basically like a default values that has been set for a user profile. Each user will be defined particular costs and some basic information is assigned to his profile also. Like if he creates a PR and PO, then by default these things will come in there in the system. These things will be coming in here. Then if I scroll down here a little bit more, here you can see that these things are there. Any related projects, any related project out there, you can add them, create project or add to project. Then this is a processing agent. This is a centralized team, member name. You can add here. As of now, it's not configured this one, but this is the processing agent. Processing agent is nothing but the person who's processing this PR. Right? The centralized team member. Like the question has raised the request that please get a PR, but who created it? Like in case the user needs to check someone to reach out to that whether you have created my PR. You have done something wrong in there. They can track it. This is how you will see like who created this PR. The processing agent name will come in here. It's automatic. No, but in the system, the number that has been created automatically based on, as of now, I think it's not applicable here. Otherwise, generally it will be like same drop down, the way we have seen that this one this way. On behalf of, like you can select or by default, your name will come in here as a processing agent. I mean processing. Is it the person going to buy? Who's going to actually follow? Supplier, purchaser mainly. The person who's creating it, the PR person. The person who's creating the PR, like I am creating right now, I'm creating it. Right. My name should come in here. Your name should come. I thought someone else who is going to then create the PR. No. The processing agent, not the person who's creating this PR. Got it. The name will come. Then regions is there like basically from which region you belongs to and all those things you can select. These are some basic information's custom regions. Are there some custom fields that you can create in here? As I said, right, custom fields. Basically you can't create on your own. You need to ask the SAP Ariba. For example, the things that you are seeing here, right? These all fields, these are some standard fields. But for example, you want something which is like not here. But you still want that field to be added here in this header field. In that case, you need to reach out to SAP Ariba. You cannot add some custom field on your own. This is how it works. This is one. Someone is trying to create it. I'm not sure who's done that, but this is a demo system. That's why you're able to do something in here. Otherwise, only the Ariba system or the Ariba guys. You need to reach out to them and they can only do this. Now deliver to which person you want to deliver. You can mention here anything like any by default values like deliver to Neil, and you can mention his number like something number, mobile number like that. And it will be delivered to this person. Need by date when you need this material. You can set up the need by date also of some future, like on by 23rd or June. I need this material. This is a need by date. You can provide some free text. It's a free text delivered to this way. Delivered to is a free text. Delivered to sorry need by date comment. You can provide any comments. And if you check box this, the supplier will be able to see the comments which you are maintaining in here. And you have an option to attend an attachment. If you want to add some documents related to this POP, you can add here also. This information, these fields that you are seeing in here, these are all known as header fields, these fields. And once it is done, then you have it. The line item fields. These are your line items. This is the segregation. Some remember, like when you are creating a PR, it would be like also in a PR level, PO level, inverse level. People will ask you, I think, are you referring to something on a line item level or you're referring some to a header level? Anything which is referring here is a line item. Anything you are referring here on the upper side, these are header level. All the fields are from the header level. Now coming down in here, you can see this is a battery bank. If you click on this type here, you select this like, just keep your cursor. It is showing as catalog item. And where you keep it here, it is showing as a non-catalog item. This is the type of the item that you are added here. I'm going to put here some values in here, like 50. Now, if you see this, there are some errors. There are some errors that we need to check. I'm going to select this one and edit one by one. If you see this first, let me show you. You are able to see if you showed it. If you click on the show, you can see some of the details in here, like little expanded one. This line item is the one supplier part number. All those commodity code purchasing, plant purchasing, or all those things are coming right. And these things are material category quantity here. And there's a price, discount, net amount, and you have the charges, taxes. All those things are here, right? Same for the other line, same similar things. Now you need to edit this one. I'm selecting the first line item and click on the actions. You can see this. These are all the options you have to work on this line item. First, you can copy the item edit details, edit discount, edit charges, edit taxes. Or you can delete the selected line, delete the discount, delete the charges, delete the taxes. All those things you can do in here. Now let me edit the detail first. Let me edit the detail of the first line item. You can see on the very top written is, there are 4 problems that require completion or correction in order to complete your request. Now, when we talk about this part system, give you the red marks wherever there is an error. If you scroll down, you can see this. This is here. There's some error, like purchasing or does not match the requirement. As you can see, yes, that's the reason, right? That is, you can see the SAP plan. Now we need to select, change it. And if I select USA, error will go away. Now you can see this 2 from 4, it became 2. And here you can see this is now coming correctly. No red marks here. These are the 2 left. I'm going to change this bill to. I'm going to change it to the plant one or maybe New York, USA, then cost center. This is the cost center is not correct. I'm going to select here and I'm going to select this operations. Now you can see this, all the errors. From this, understand this part, the data. The data combination is a very important part in the downstream because these things are interlinked. like what the company code you have selected based on that. What is the account type? The GL account billed to cost center you are selecting in the system. Based on that selection, your data will be fast and your PR will be created. If there's any error in that one, you will not be able to create a PR. This is we have done for one line item. Click. Now we have another line item that we need to do it. Here, this is the line item select. Now this one and actions added details. Here now again, 4 problems are coming. Let me rectify the same coming first here. Best in Germany purchasing or needs to change here. Bese. 2 problems. It's gone in here. Now build to address Hamburg. Let me select the New York in here. One problem that is a cost center. I'm going to select here this one and here operations. Now all the option, all the errors gone. That is for second line item. Apart from this one, if there's any handling charges, shipping charges, you can add here. We have done the pricing basic details, basic charges of the line item. Is there 50 euro? Apart from this one, you can set up the discount also if you want to. But here I'm going to do charges, handling charges, shipping charges, add. Here you can see charge type. These are the charges coming in here. Handling and shipping. For example, you're putting it shipping charges. Shipping charges 5 euro. Shipping charges 5 euro, 5 euro. Total charge amount 5 euro and whatever the total value of the line item, that is 50. If I put it here, update taxes, I will get charge amount and the total value of this line item will become 55. I'm going to click here. You can see this 51 line item. This one supplier having another line item, discounts or charges $5. So 5 euro. In this case, I think second line item we need to select. I'm going to select here action, edit details. We haven't added the supplier also. I'm going to add the supplier also. Where is that supplier? When the status IT supplier here. I'll select the supplier also. Clicking. Now you can see this. These total 2 items are there and this one all coming in. Basically, what we have done is we have created a requisition. We have added the information details of the line items here and the total value is coming in here. You can click on this update taxes. Once you click on this option, update taxes, it checks the text from the text file, which text files we have maintained in the background of the system. This is how you maintain the text files. Then you have the check option. You click on this check option. It generally shows it checks the data in the background. All the data like everything is fine and not any error. It will reflect here. After this check, it will reflect the error. And then comes a third option, that is show approval flow here. This, if I click on the show up, will know this also. The approval will trigger only in that case if your data and everything is correct. If something is not correct, the right approval flow will not trigger. Here you can see this approval flow triggered. If I remove something like, for example, this delivered to, I remove it. And I just put it update taxes. See here the problems are coming and you can see this approval flow is not coming instead of approval flow. The error warning is coming there. Basically, the logic is you can always check these things by checking all these information, like by clicking on the approval flow and all. And in case any error is coming, you need to rectify. And if your approval flow is triggering here, that means your all the data is correct and you can submit the recreation. Now let me put it again. Deliver to fetch queue. I'm just putting headquarter and I'm going to update this one. I think for just acquisition, which we are creating now, it might have a standard format, isn't it? Or is there a template for PR also? No, there is no template. This is standard. It's a standard one. This is approval flow is coming then. Here it is written, see approval flow design. I'm going to cover that. There's a separate section for approval flow design for the downstream side. I'm going to cover that. From where it is coming. Now you see this, all this information has been done correctly. Approval flow is also coming correctly before. Let me submit this one. Once I submit, now you can see this view requisition. The requisition has been submitted. Now I'm clicking on the view requisition. This is my requisition submitted. If you click on the history, you can see this. First you submitted by this section. Check for this one by the P. M not meant it. As of now, it's in submitted status. The PI is in submitted status. Once you approve this P, R, the PO will get generated. Here you can see this. This is the approval. It is this person and this group. Anyone can approve this. And then, once it is approved, a PO will get generated. But before that, what I want to show you is the master data in the PR level, because PR is like the same thing will be if the PO will get generated. All the information which is we have entered here in the PR, it just got converted into the PO. It will reflect there at the PO level. Same information will be copied at the inverse table also. Basically, the PR is a very triggering point where you need to maintain all this information. Get first fetched. Data should be very correct at the PR level. Here, if I go on this up, I'm going to go outside here, where we maintain this data at all, right? First, I'm going to show you by default value, but it is coming the default value. UX user core admin. First, you go into the core admin user profile. I'm going to click on this user and that is other user input. As I like other user info is the profile where you need to have the data for the downstream perspective. For user, I'm going to put that. That's why it's called other user. No, same user, like it's a user and other user. For each other user info will be there. Other user info. Other user info means like here. Let me show you first. This is my user ID, right? First we go in the user section. In this one, user 56. This is my ID. When we are searching the user section, user 56, this is the information coming. You are seeing the very basic information like general group, all those things are. You are like who's my manager, what are roles has been assigned to me. These things you are able to see in the UX user profile, not in the other user input, only in the user profile info. You will be seeing only the part which is like the groups, the roles which are assigned to me. These are the groups. Groups are nothing but other roles. Now you can see this. These are written also here. For example, if I go scroll it down, I have a lot of roles in here. That's why I'm able to see a lot of things in the system. If I go here, you can see this now. Payment manager is there. Procurement, procurement agent, member of this group. What can they do? This is how, like this group is assigned to me. That's why I'm able to perform like here you can see. Member of this group can make and post, receive requisitions, can purchase orders invoice. Each role, each group that has been assigned to me have a particular access, particular role, particular authorization. Based on that authorization, you will be able to perform some other things in the system. And every user can be assigned with multiple groups. As of now, you can see this is my ID. User 50 has lot of roles. Groups and roles are like similar here. Groups and roles are the same way, like same thing. You can say the same thing. Now you are seeing when I'm showing you these things, it is only related to the rules and all those things. Whereas when you want to check the other user info, control copy, and I'm going under other user info, pasting here the ID of mine, and I'm going to search here. This is the data related to the downstream of that person. You see this delivered to and purchasing it. By default, when I create a PR, delivered to address comes as HQ45 and the purchasing user is Quetzale XP1001. Because it is set up here. Same way, PCRs is one other thing. That is like if you are given some budget, small budget of buying anything which you do not need any approval and all. You have to have a P card, petty cash or purchasing card which having a small value that you can buy. Then you have ship to address. This is comes by default which have your setup in here at your PR label or billing address. It will be coming the same which you have set up in here. And then you have the accounting. You can see this best in Germany, purchasing on Germany. These things are coming from here. Understood? When you create it by default, these things comes from here because I have created these things. Like these are associated with my profile. This is one part. The next comes is that data import. This is very important. Very important. Data import export. Under the site manager. Under the site manager, the very first thing, it will be always the very first site manager. Under site manager, you have data import, export. Now all the data if your system is not integrated. If your system is integrated, you can get the data from any ERP system on a regular basis via the bad jobs and all. In that case, you have this web services status also there. First, understand import. If you want to load some data into the Ariba system export, if you want to extract whatever the data is there in the Ariba system web services is the services which you can fetch, which can fetch the data from the ERP system. This thing is used when your system is integrated. This thing is used when your system is integrated. Ariba has already designed the web services and kept it here. Whichever you want to use, you can use that. Let me show you some examples. First, under this import, you can see import tasks, all the data. This view you need to load or you need to like, for example, a unit of measure, like each drum, kg, and all those things are the unit of measure. These are the tasks that have been created here. If you want to load some data in the system, you need to use this task. The status, if it is successfully completed, it will show here like complete. It will also show you the data of the last imported. And then here's the option for import. Export means you can download anything which you want to download. You can see account types or something you want to download. Simply see this, click in here, export. You can download the data. This will give you the data which is available in the system currently. This is import export. Now, for example, your system is not integrated and someone says you to maintain the company codes. Right. Very first company, search your company code. Likewise, how many parameters are there for input available here? There are a lot of parameters. You just give the name from a master data perspective. There are a lot of data is maintained. Here, I'm going to remove this import section. If I refresh status and I list all, you can see this is a very long list. It takes time to fetch. When you import this company status, right? This has a database also where this will go and save. Isn't it when you input? This is all gets saved at the data, all this saved in the system on a cloud. Cloud only. Cloud only. That is Ariba is a cloud platform, right? That's all. Let me show you. Let me show you. Just give me some time. First, like understand what is a master data. Give me an example. What is a master data? Give me an example. Item master can be one. No, no item. No. Master data. Master data is generally we refer to. The master data is your company code, your purchasing or your unit of measurement GL, account cost center, commodities, categories, purchasing groups, purchasing units, all these are comes into the master. The logic of master data is that data you are going to use it across everywhere. If you give me the name, I can search the task for that and I can show you how you went. Let's take an example of company code only. Company code. Company code. This is the import company code. Let me first download it. If I click export here, and if I click here export company, this is the export company, right? I'm going to export this company code. Click. Clicking here. This is the data available in the system for company code side. First, this is UTF-8. This is a coding of the file by which you will be always. It is always there and you do not need to change it. Second is the header label. This is header file. Header details. First IVD never changes. Basically you do. You should not change anything about these two sets. First two lines in any file. It is coding and the header piece. This should always be standard. Then comes your data. This is the data. This is you're going to change. This is the data that you will be changing in the long run. For example, if I go here, 3000 was there, right? We were using some 3000. Maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to just right click. A fit. I'm going to put here 3000 equals Boschne. This is the one we are using. This is the company code coming in here. This is how you maintain and you see the data under it, under the table. You need to maintain some data. You need to maintain via this file. You will be deleting this file or deleting this data. And you have, for example, someone asked me to add to Morgan. Do you like best in Germany? Best in Malaysia? They also asked me best in our ad, best in Europe or like any country, New Zealand or best friends. Australia also. These two companies need to add. You need to make an entry here like this separately new entry. Like you need to delete all this and then you need to make one more and two entries here. And then one of my questions. When you imported the existing records, they remain as it is. They are not touched, isn't it? They don't get it. Right. Basically what happens is here. You can see this, how you load it. For example, if I go ahead and put, once you prepare the file, import company codes. These are the options for you to import. This is how you load the data in the reverse system. First option is to load the very safest option, very useful option, and always try this option as a recommendation. I'd say load option. What happens is you can read this, create, and modify the object using the values in the import file. For example, you have already like these much. How many of these are? The data is a shift down. Just shift control. This is 68 currently. How much entries are there? Someone asked you that please add 2 more countries under the company code. 2 more company code. They simply ask that in that scenario, what you will do. You need to just prepare the same file. You do not need to again keep the same data. You can simply delete this, all the data, and just keep 2 entries line. Let me do that. Don't worry about it. This is our testing. Shift control up. I'm going to delete these entries in here. Delete. Like this, you can delete the entries here. I see that. And just keep 2 entries here. All the entries can be deleted. Like this, you can delete all these entries. Just keep the one which are. Remove this filter tool. What I'm going to do is, I'm just going to delete other 2 entries, any other entries, and just keep the 2 entries in here in this file. Now you need to save this file and load this. Out of that 190 that previously was there, these 68, these 2 will get added in that file. With the load option, But we did not check. I think it will check. Yes, it will check. How it works is if there is a duplicate entry. Here you can see this. If an object in the import file does not exist in the database, object will be created. But if an object in the import file already exists in the database, it is modified. That is why I'm saying like it is the best way, because when you are loading this file, if you are by mistakenly, if you have these entries are new, like it's not there already in the system, it will get created. But for example, you have this is already in the system. It will generate, it will not create them new entry. It will just update them. If it is the latest data which you are sending here in this file, the data is exactly the same. We can just create duplicate. It will sorry. Come again. Suppose if you are using create option, in that case, the data exists already. It will necessarily create a duplicate client. Yes, it will not modify it. It will simply create it. Here that next option create new objects in the database using the value in the import file. It is an object already exists in the data. It is not modified. It is not modified. That's why I'm saying very first option is the best option to use it where. If it is already existing, it will update it. If it is not there, it will create it. Or you want to create something, you can always use this second option, that is for create. Then comes this third option, update only. Please do not use this option, especially in the test room that we have in the testing during testing, because if you use this option, what this option does is in the practical. Also, if you are already working on a project, please never use this one. This option is only used when you are loading the data in the Ariba system or for the very first time. Very first time. Once it is being loaded, you do not use this option second time, after that anytime. Because if you are using this option, what it does is it will delete all the old data, and whatever the data is there in the file, it will just make that active only. Like for example, if you use this data, you selected this one and you try to load this file. In this case, what will happen is all the old 168 entries will get deleted. Only this 2 will be available then. Like Ariba gives you a little bit kind of. You can say like that it's a like update only. The option name is update only. Right. But it's not confusing actually. Right. It's little confusing. But that should not be the way actually. But like this is how it is. We can't change this. This is the basic aggregate, but never use this one. You can also read these things here. Like the operation can cause deactivated objects to be reactivated or object deactivation and all. Always try to avoid this if you are doing the load. Like generally, we do it very first time when we implement it. Also at there during that time, very first time you can use this option. But after the because like before doing the real data load, sometimes you load some test data in there that you want to delete. In that case, when you are loading the actual data very first time, then you can use it. All the old testing data will get deleted from that system. That is fine. And your real data will get into the system. For the first time it is. But second time, please do not do that. And especially in our test system. Please do not, because the data we have set up is like it's quite there. Because a lot of people are working on it. If we delete it, a lot of issues will come. Now right? This way comes the last option, that is deactivate. In a read, generally we never delete something. We generally say it in a deactivate. Like someone say like, Can you delete these line items or company codes or something like that? That means like you would be doing a deactivation. Deactivation means like if you do not like, for example, they are previously same file, the file works the same file. For example, now these two data was there already in the file, but these two company codes are not in use. And you say like please remove this from the data because these are not applicable. We do not want to keep the data in the system. Simply, you will be saving this same file and same file will be loaded there under this section, deactivate. The file format is the same. It's just the operation that you are doing. It depends on. This is how you load, and you remember always load the file that is .csv. Ariba only accepts the .csv format of the file. They are loading, export and update that file, isn't it? If you export this file, simply export the file, change the data section here. Do not touch these two ones and just save that file. And again upload naming convention. All those things doesn't matter. Our REAP system does not change the naming convention here. Data, definitely the J, but naming convention, like if you put company code export or something doesn't matter. You need to simply load here the file. And how about the details of the fields? For example, in this company code, there are 4 columns, right? 3 of them are like feed code. To know more details about it, it's there. I'm going to show you that for this one. If you click on this, let me cancel this first. To read this file, you see this download data dictionary. This data dictionary will always be there in any case, anywhere in any company who's using Ariba. This is a support document that Ariba by default provides to every client. Like if you're buying Ariba, it will be there. If I think I've already downloaded this download data dictionary. I'm just checking in my downloads. Otherwise it takes some time. Here is the data dictionary. I'm going to open it. This is the one. And all the fields, that tasks that you have seen in here, you click in here. All those fields and the tasks you can see in here, in this file. If I go for company code, the company code, let me search it. Company code. It's a long list, same way. The same parameters are there for that one. Where is the company code? Company. No, it's not. And actually it starts with E and all. The initial start is export import that way. Here it is company export company codes. Export company codes. Click. And the company code. Export company code. No sir. This is commodity company code. Let me more shades. Up it went. I think it was. Oh, it was like I think company word I saw. Maybe it might be different. Import company codes are there. Here it is. Here if you see this is that import. We have the export like it's the same import export having the same fields in there, right? Whether the file set. Here you can see this import company codes. The SAP entity company code represents an independent accounting unit with a client. Each company has its own balance sheet and its own profit loss statement. This is a description. Then you have data file name. What is the data file name? It's a company called a CSV. And here are the 5 file column names. UKRAS, BOT, ACTM Purchasing Unit and FSTP. Same are there in the file in the company code FSTVA, BOKXT, BOKRAS and the purchasing. Right now what this says here, this is the first new file column name. Sometimes company can get in-game to file column name change as per their own requirement, but the background, the main field, will never be get changed because it's a configuration done in the background. It will never get changed. Only representation purpose of new file column names can be set up, but generally nobody uses that way. But yes, there's an option if you want to do that. Then you have the field name. For example, BOKRAS, what is this? It's a unique name. It's a description. What does this feel about? Unique internal identifier of the company code. These field names have used the same. I can ERP SAP system. Exactly the same there in that also because this is an SAP system, as I said, right? See, if you want to map something, if you are doing an integration with SAP already with the SAP system, it will be easy for you because the same fields are there. Same fields on here and same data correct. The set and all those things are there which is similar to the ERP side. The mapping of the fields will be easy for you. Same way you can see this. Next is the beauty exit, which is name of the company or the company code. Then you have the procurement purchasing unit, then the business ID, system ID, and the field status, that data type also given in here. What data type it's going to be accept and what is the string length. If you see this here, this FSTV has a 4 string length. FT if I go here. If I go here in the company, sorry FSTV, you can see this, it is always 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 characters are because the string length is given as 4 in the dictionary. What is the value you can put? Sample values are there, given which sample values you can put in here, whether these fields are required. True, and all this is true, like the fields are required. Allow no value. You can allow like 0 value or null value. You can allow the null value also. This is the way you will be referenced to file and all. This is how you will be able to read a particular file. Any file, anything that you want to see in here, it will be reflecting like this. Same way, you can see any purchasing related file and all and you can see. You can see that here in the Ariba system, the same file. For example, if I show you one more file, anything is there. If I go here for purchasing group or something, let me see if I can find out something related to that one. Purchasing groups. This is the purchasing group. If I go here in the Ariba system and if I search here, the purchasing group purchasing, importing purchasing unit is coming. Let's search import. Let's see if it is the same one. Not import, it's not. Cancel in here. Let me see if it is the same. If I can use purchasing unit, I think this is different. This is not the one because we are finding out purchasing unit group and we are looking for purchasing data dictionary, which is purchasing. This is purchasing group. Let me search. The unit also. Export wire remittance suppliers, tax code time and shakes users. Purchasing. Purchasing groups. Right? Purchasing groups is there. Purchasing unit. Purchasing unit. This is purchasing unit. Here you can have this purchasing unit file here. The same file we have downloaded also purchasing unit. Description log level parent unique name and name. You can see that this is the purchase unit coming for me which is assigned to my ID, right? Let's see. And same you can see here in this data dictionary purchasing unit. This is the one level, the type of organization, entity maintained in here. Description, the user visual description for the purchasing unit, that description that we are seeing in here, which is visible for us. And this is the one, description sold expense, PO like this way. Same way. You have this, others like log file name, if anything is their parent, what is the parent, unique name, a unique identifier of the purchasing unit, and the name user, a visible name for the purchasing unit. This is the way you can read and what is the parameters. What are? Some sample values are given. What is the length of the string length that's been used? These things are being provided here in the Ariba system in the download data dictionary. One more thing. I'll say like data dictionary is there. I have explained to you also there. But it's still, these things are not that easy. You need to have a little experience once you work on it. Because what happens is these things are like even a small comma. A small dot can create an error while you're loading this data. If I show you how these things works and how you check it, for example, let's take the company code. That is little easy to explain here. Import company codes. Once you import the data, you need to check the status. If it is coming like this way, completed, that means the data loaded correctly is still. You need to click on this completed section. You need to check here. Records created 1. Last time it is last process. Last like 2273. Status completed. History you can check. Like last time, who all has done and what all the processes are there. Documents like data processed. You can see this. These are the data processed data, last process status records, created records, updated records, deleted. All this information will always be given to you. Also, if there's an error comes generally when you load the data error comes. If the error comes, let me delete something here and like list all. If the error comes, you will see the status is coming like this error user group mapping. Someone loaded this one file, this user group mapping file, and it is giving error. When you click on this error, it will show you. Here you can see this records create updated, deleted, 0. All those things are coming 0 and the status is error. And this error will be saying here in error details. This tab will come only when you have an error. Otherwise, this tab will not come. And then here you need to read it. From here you can see this fatal. The severity is fatal. Error messaged data exists outside the code field on 973. Outside the code field means someone is trying to load the data which is not correct. Here you can see this encoding not set in the file. Like someone is trying to here. You can see this itself. Someone has tried to load Excel file. All 4 files are Excel files. That's why the system is giving you the error because Ariba accepts only CSV file. Right. This is how, when you learn it, you work it. These things are most of the times even like. We also sometimes face error. We need to always renew, like learn this way that we need to run it. And then we need to again update. See this, what are the errors coming? We need to correct the data again. And once the data is corrected, then you need to work again on it, like loading again. This is how we perform the loading of the data in the Ariba system. You can give any name and you can use it that way. Also, if you see this, the same thing happens like the same data. The company code and all those things can be loaded via the integration if you have a system integrated. Here, if you see this company code, go to the web services statuses. And if possible, can you just quickly read this? Is it visible to you? It's very small. It's visible. Use the import company code web service to receive company codes data from external system to SAP Ariba solution. The external system can be SAP as well as non-SAP Oracle. Yes, anything like you need to just make the integration. You need to integrate that system, whichever the system is there. But you can fetch. You can fetch the database via the web services from any ERP, any third parties, like any ERP system. It could be SAP or any other Oracle or something. If it is configurable, you can like. If you can map it, you can fetch the data here in the Ariba system. This way, the data will keep on coming like regularly. You do not need to do everything like this job. These are like jobs. It's like it will run after every 2 hours or 24 hours once in 24 hours time, like that way. And whatever the data will be there at the ERP side. ERP, there is a table that is known as Ariba change doc table. From a SAP perspective, I say SAP ERP side, there's a table named Ariba change doc table. If there's any change in that, for example, in the Ariba change doc table, what happened is previously, yesterday you have created 2 new company codes. And the job run is 24 hours after 24 hours. After 24 hours, this job will run and whatever the new data will get created in the ERP side will be get accumulated into that Ariba change doc table. And this web service will run it and it will fetch the data from that table, all the change data, and it will bring that data here in the Ariba system and update it. This is how it works in the integration perspective. But as I said, like see from Ariba perspective, you already have the web services, you already have the setup, everything in here. The major part and the work comes when we have talked about the integration is from the ERP side and the middleware team. They need to work quite a lot from their side. They need to like configure it. They need to first implement the service specs in there. Once they need to go there in the SPR, they need to configure all those things in there. All those things needs to be done, checking And although after that this connectivity needs to be set up and then you need to use it. Major part comes from the integration. That's why I said right. When we talk about the integration, like the multiple teams come into the picture, and the ERP team and the middleware team needs to play a pivotal role, and they need to have a better understanding and the knowledge because a lot of technical aspects come into the picture also. Actually, one question on there. In our course, those things are not the C. Of course, the one middleware part is taught, but SAP system point of view, what configuration are required for integration. Those things are not within this, because that is like, see if you know that right. That is itself a very vast field, like not a normal guy can do that. Even the ERP, if you are just an ERP consultant like a normal guy who know how to like run the transaction decodes or basic idea of the configuration. No, that person will not be able to do all those things. You need some experienced person who has a better kind of person who knows where to set up those conditions and all those things from the ERP because you need to change a lot of things in there in the ERP side. Basically, what will be this cloud foundation which features that? I mean, I didn't get your question. If I want to learn those things that came into, those things like from ERP side, also how what all is required, 1 year. Sorry, your voice is coming. Have you heard? Now I can hear you. I mean, within Cloud Foundation, is there any other course which teaches those things from ERP side? What we need to do? Like what all integration configuration, which you mentioned, ABAP related things we need to do. Any other course? Not this one, but of course it is not within the just for my information, but nothing else. Knowledge point of view. No, I'm not sure. Basically, if you know something, the course which related to the what I can say like which is related to that ABAP and all those things, right? SAP and SIPAM or MPG side perspective. Those courses are available, I think, with them, but I'm not sure on that part because these are very not if ERP module, just Ariba integration point of view. What all we need to do on SAP side, only that part, not the whole SAP MM module or anything. I'm not sure. Like maybe you can read them. I can check. You can check, but I'm not sure on that part. No. Just thought of asking. But like, this is how it works. As I said, right? See, integration is generally when you need to have like multiple teams to work together. And here like middleware consultant will be there which handles the middleware part. Then you have the ERP consultant or developers or the developer tools who handle the ERP side. Then all those people come together and they work together. Then these things work better. Right? These are the things. I hope now it is clear, like how to maintain the data in the system, how you will be able to read the download data dictionary. You can load a lot of things. Even users you can create from here. Users import user. Import user. You want to unit of measurement load, unit of measurement. You can do all those things. Also unit of measurement you can import. Any data that you call centers. If you want to load call centers, you can load the call centers also. And there's one more. I forgot one more commodity. There's a file which is very important, that commodity to commodity mapping. This file is very important. You see that right? When I'm selecting one company code respective, some data is accepted and some data are not accepted. Right. This is you need to maintain in this file. If I show you this file, just a second, I already have it downloaded with me. But recently I think commodity code export. I have downloaded this one recently. This is the file. First again in this one, if you see this, the first one, again the same UTF-8 encoding. The second is your line is having the header fields. And here based on the commodity code and your company code, here is that very important. Let me explain you slowly. This is important file. General ledger. Here you have the general ledger and the company code and you need to enter here the details. Then you have the item category. If I show here, these are things in here in our PR. Let me go back to the PR. Also referring the both things, you will be able to easily understand this. There is the PR, that is test PR for Neil. You can see this company code coming this way, purchasing it, coming in here planned, and we have anything which is detail of any inline item. Commodities commodity code. As of now, I selected all and here you can see the item category material. It could be material or it could be any other thing. Same thing you need to maintain based on this commodity. You need to maintain here item category, then account type. This account type is here under this accounting data. This is the account type. You can see the cost center. We select it because you will be able to see only the cost center most of the case because we have only the cost center here. It could be BBS. It could be internal order also. Like this is a test system. We have kept it very limited data. Not much data has been created, but yes, in actual world you will be able to see here and the account type, cost center, internal order, WS number. All those things also come into this one. Then you have this URIN SPC code material group, which is you are fetching from the ERP side, and some are not all it is mandatory, but some of the data you need to maintain here. And then you can see this. This is the main factor common ID. Common ID means commodity code. This common ID means that commodity code here. This common ID page up common ID. This is the common ID code. Based on this common ID code and the company code, you need to maintain the data in this file, the entry of that particular. For example, if you see this, I have selected here all common ID code is all, or common ID is all. And here you can see this cost center key account type of coming case. This is here. We have mentioned account category cake and the cost center. You're seeing like we have all the entities of the cost center there in that one. And you can see this GL laser. This is the GL41500. And this is the company code. The same entries are here in this one. Bill 3000 and the GL account. This is the PR you are checking. This is the P. This is the PR. Right. This is how the system checks. This is how the system checks and you need to. This is how system is giving you error. If something is not maintained here in this file, then if you're using that combination system will give you error. The combination of GL account company code with commodity code needs to be meant to account with the account category and all those things needs to be maintained here in this one. This commodity mapping file is a very important file. Based on that, only the selection, like user can ask you like I'm selecting all commodity code, but the GL, I'm trying to use this one. I'm not able to select it. In that case, you need to see here. Come here. What is the like entry has been maintained here? Sometimes, most of the time, there are a lot of entries needs to be made for a single commodity code also. Like this commodity. For example, this commodity is also be used for this GL account. And this commodity also be used with this GL account. And this company also needs to be used with this GL account. Then, in this case, you need to have maintained the 3 line items with same commodity but different G, L. This is how you maintain the data in the files in the commodity that you can create a P R in the Ariba system. I think that's all for today. Thank you. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@upptalk.com.